I didn't know that Silent Hill was based off of the north of England. I was just like, what is happening? This is what. Welcome back to A Fantastic Time with me, Taher Houssain. And I know what you're thinking. I thought you said that episodes are going to be uploaded every week. You said that in your last video. Unfortunately, a lot of things have happened between then and now, and a lot of things that happened which made it so that I couldn't upload an episode. And I do apologise about that. And now there's a dog barking, but hopefully you don't hear it. To elaborate on what's been happening with me, so essentially, at the start of October, I had a trip planned up north to Manchester, York, to see some friends who I hadn't seen for a while. One of them I haven't seen in about a year and a half, just because, life gets busy, things happen, all that good stuff. So I went up there, and beforehand, I had done an audition up in London, where I am currently. I'll get onto that in just a second. But it was for like an immersive theatre company thing. So I just went in there, did it. Honestly, I didn't think I'd get it just because, the group I was with, there was a lot of talented people, there was limited amount of spaces, and on top of our group, there was, I think, 5 or 6 other groups with anywhere between 7 to 10 people. So it was, I think, a good 100 people also applying for probably 8 or 10 spaces. So in my head, I'm thinking, hey, I'm probably not going to get it. And they told us you'd hear back in 3 to 4 weeks. I was like, okay, standard, no worries. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, okay. So in that time, I'm going to go up to Manchester, York, see some friends, see the North. I've heard a lot of scary things about the North as a Southerner. So I was just like, let's go up there. Let's go and see what this is all about. And within those days when I went up north, so I went up north, I think 2 to 3 days later, I heard back from the immersive theatre company 2 to 3 days later, and they were like, congratulations, you've been given the job. I was like, pardon? I was like, what? I wasn't expecting to hear from you for a while. So while I was up on my little staycation up north exploring, I had to just subsequently deal with my emails, deal with the contracts, get everything signed off as quickly as possible, just so they can get all the filing done on my behalf, which was crazy. So I think within a month or within 3 weeks, I had to, I think all of October, basically, apart from that first week, I was basically running up to London 2 to 3 times a week, just doing rehearsals for anywhere between 5 to 8 hours, and then basically catching a bus all the way back down to Bristol. It was a lot. I won't lie. It was a lot of traveling. It was a lot of traveling, and I think I just sort of came to the conclusion that I just can't keep doing this back and forth from Bristol to London. Because, it was a long trip. It was 2.5 hours on the bus. And you might be asking, why don't you take a train? A train is about £60. And unfortunately, I know a lot of you are going to be like, why don't you have a rail card? I just don't have a rail card. Just because at that time, about 2 weeks ago, I did have a car that I had to give up because I am now living in London. And there is no point in driving in London because I've done it for my move and it is absolutely horrific. I don't know who's driving in London, why you would drive in London, but it is absolutely shit. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. Is having a car cool? Yes. Is it convenient? Yes. Is driving in London at 20 miles per hour with all that traffic and really bad road markings and confusing road markings worth it? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And I could only imagine what the insurance would be like if I had put it down and I was living in London now. It was probably going to be absolutely insane. But yeah, so that's just sort of the spark notes about what's been happening or why I've been absent, essentially. It's just because I've been doing rehearsals, I've been focusing on moving up to London, and then once getting up to London, it's been 2 weeks since I've actually moved in, pardon me. And yeah, I've just been trying to get bearings on unpacking my area, the job, and just settling in permanently, which is what I've done now. So that's why I've been able to record an episode, which is amazing. Apologies for the squeaky chair as well. I think this was the only chair available to me in my current place. So yeah, you'll have to bear with me until I find a more comfortable chair that doesn't squeak, or I apply some WD-40 on it, and it just it just goes away. It just goes away. But yeah, a bit about my adventures. I went up north as a Southerner. It was treacherous behaviour, if I have to say myself. I took a bus up there because, again, cheap, nice, simple, and I didn't want to drive up there. I think I slept from Bristol all the way to just past Birmingham. As soon as we got past Birmingham, I woke up, and when I tell you, it was just a sea of fog. Like, I couldn't see 2 meters ahead of me in any direction. And I was a bit startled because I was thinking, well, clearly I'm in Silent Hill. I didn't know that Silent Hill was based off of the north of England. I was just like, what is happening? This is what? And I was looking over and I saw this one uncle. Bless his heart. He woke up and he was just like, and I was just like, uncle, it's okay. He's like, is it? I was like, I assure you, it's okay. And where I was sat, I could just, because luckily there was no one sat next to me, which I love. Had a window seat, had no one sat next to me, so I could put my bag there. But I had a little, shimmy just to see through the windscreen. When I tell you, I'm surprised the driver could drive, just because he could barely see anything in front of him. I could barely see anything in front of me. And it was just absolutely insane. This was, I think, mid-October, where it was just heavy fog up north. And I was just like, where am I going? I feel like I'm going through the fog in like a boss battle in like a Souls game or something like that. It was absolutely insane. I felt like I was going to go through the fog, and once I reached the other end of the fog, like some massive beast was going to be standing before me and I had to slay it. That, or I was literally going to be dumped off at Silent Hill, and I don't want to go through that. I'm not into this horror business. I love playing my horror games, but I'm not going to be party to one. I refuse. But I made it to Manchester, and I have to say, all this propaganda about the north not being nice, that it's a bit this, that, and the other, I believe that is northern propaganda now, just to stop southerners from venturing up to the north of England. Because when I tell you, Manchester is absolutely beautiful. I think it's like a perfect mixture of Birmingham and Bristol, I think, in terms of it's like the size of Birmingham, nice, big, but it's got that nice artsy kind of, it's got that nice artsy vibe like you get from like Bristol or like Brighton, and I absolutely loved it. Like the shops were amazing, the food was amazing, like the trams. I don't think I've ever taken a tram in England, so this was like, I know they've got some in Birmingham, I'm not sure if they've got any in London, but again, they've got them in Manchester. Amazing, brilliant, easy to use, easy to travel with. I loved it. And like the centre of Manchester, like just visiting all like the little individual shops and like the quality of the food and the types of food they have, it's just absolutely amazing. If you haven't been to Manchester, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I would completely recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I didn't get to watch any shows or theatre shows or anything of that sort, but the next time I do venture up to Manchester, best believe that I will be visiting the theatre, because again, it looked absolutely. But while I was up in Manchester, I also ended up in York. I think my friend, he was like, oh, let's go to York. He had to pick up some like new rims from York. So I was just like, yeah, sure, let's go. While we're picking up your rims, we might as well go to York and explore this, explore what it's about. Again, there's very few places that I fall in love with. York is one of them. Like the southwest of England, I love, I adore. However, the northeast, I have to say, has my heart as well. Like York is just so gorgeous. Like the streets, the buildings, the architecture, and even like they had a little food market where they were selling Indian food, Thai food, Mexican food, and it was good. It was good food, and it was reasonably priced. I was going to say, for like a small city, I was like, this is what I'd be paying in Bristol at the local food markets and stuff like that, or at St. Nick's Market. So I wasn't too mad at that. It was filling, it was delicious, it was just nice. And it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, they had amazing shops. They had a lot of locally sourced stuff. And I was just like, wow. Like, if I wasn't so, if my career didn't like focus on being in London currently, or I didn't take up this immersive theatre job up in London, I would definitely consider moving up to Manchester or York. It's just absolutely beautiful. And also, I think it's the Shambles. It's basically Diagon Alley. That's what Diagon Alley was based off of. I'm not sure if J.K. Rowling lived there for a bit or she visited there. But when I tell you, it was absolutely amazing. And one of my friends, she's like a complete Potterhead. So when I tell you, she was just running into every single shop and being like, Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter, must buy, must buy, must buy. Honestly, she spent way too much money than she should, but we allowed it just because we're in the Shambles. It's Harry Potter, and she absolutely adores Harry Potter with all her being. She is a fan. I think I'd be scared to ask her how many hours she's put into Hogwarts Legacy, because it's probably over 200. I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably played it on every single like house. She's probably done it just to do their side quest, just for the shits and gigs. Because why not? You like to do that, don't you? But anyways, yes, York, absolutely love it. Must go. Please go. After I came back from York, I came back, worked a few days, and then immediately I was off to Palma, just because we had booked a family holiday for me and my family. We hadn't gone on a family holiday in about like 10 years or so, unfortunately. But we ended up in Palma. We ended up renting out this nice B&B, nice villa. You know, my parents loved it. You know, they hadn't been out the country for about 10 years. My little sister, she hadn't been, out the country ever. So it was just nice. And Palma is gorgeous. It's really lovely. We went to the main city. We went to, I think, the seaside town next to it, where Palma Beach is located. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Would I go back? Yeah, I think I would. I'd want to explore like the rest of the island. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to explore all of the island just because it was a family holiday, and they don't want to be walking around too much. Bless my parents, they're a bit old. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. The food, the garlic bread. We went to this one pizza spot, and it's quite possibly the best garlic bread I've had, like anywhere. I didn't have garlic bread in Rome, but I know garlic bread I don't think is like, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's like an American Italian thing, like that creation comes from there. But they had like this beautiful garlic bread, I think, on like I think they used sourdough bread to like as the base, but it was absolutely delicious. I think my mum was like, just order the garlic bread, we don't need the pizza, I just want the garlic bread. And honestly, I couldn't falter at all. It was so good. The water was clear, it was nice, it was hot, it was just all around amazing. So yeah, I had that, and then as soon as I came back, it was just 3 weeks of rehearsal and then moving to London. So when I tell you I have been busy, I have been busy. But fret not, because I'm back now. And I promise that I will be doing weekly episodes from now on. Just because I have a little bit more time, a little bit more settled in. And I can definitely do it around my work schedule, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm happy to say I'm out of retail for now, because as an actor, you never know when you're going to be thrown back into retail, because that's just the name of the game as an actor, unfortunately. But for now, I am happy to say that I am completely out. But yeah, right now, immersive theatre, it's like hosting a game show. It is the best way I can put it. It's like, it's weird because, of course, you're in character, you're doing your thing, but at the same time, you're having to do the other salesy bits that are required within your job. It's a very, I think it's like the best mixture of business and actually being in character and actually doing something. But yeah, for now, I'm enjoying it, loving it. And of course, in London now, so hopefully I can go off and do more shoots, network a bit, all that good stuff. But yeah, but while I've been, going back and forth, to my rehearsals, I've been on Instagram a lot, scrolling. I've just been scrolling away, as you do. And I've come across this weird part of like Instagram Reels. I'm pretty sure they've got it on TikTok and like YouTube Shorts, but I'm on Instagram Reels. And it's these accounts, or these fairly large accounts, where they're talking about, when I talk, they're talking about, I think, astrology, but this goes beyond astrology. I'm not talking about the Sagittarius Aries business. It's that, but on steroids. But when I tell you, these people are talking directly to the camera and are being like, so yes, World War III will not happen just because we have talked to the lizard people in the 7th dimension, and they have told us that the dragons in the 5th dimension say that it is not possible because they have preordained that the world will continue on for another 3,000 years, and after that, then World War III may occur. It, give or take, flip of the coin, depends on how the sun is moving, if it becomes a red giant, like all that random business. And me saying all of this, you're probably thinking, what are you on? Like, what are you talking about? Imagine hearing this. It's like these actual Instagram accounts where they're talking about, and I thought it was like a joke. I thought they were like just taking the piss. No, I think they actually believe this, just because they've got multiple, like their Instagram page is dedicated to talking about these higher planes of existence in the 7th, 8th, ninth. Sometimes I'm not sure if they've reached the 10th dimension yet, or the 10th dimension is going to bother with us, but I think they'll get there eventually. Give it another year or two, I wouldn't be shocked. But they're talking about these unicorn people, these lizard people, like all this other stuff, and I'm like, what is this? Is it Scientology? Like genuinely, I was so baffled at like what they were talking about, and I think they're trying to convince people that World War III won't happen because the unicorn people and the lizard people in like the 5th or 6th dimension have just said, no, it's not going to happen. So it won't happen in our dimension. And I'm like, you're absolutely chatting out your ass. And I was thinking, okay, surely the comments, people are going to be taking the piss. And they were. People were taking the piss. But at the same time, there were people in there being like, I'm so thankful for this information. Like, it's actually made my day and it's brought me some semblance of peace and quiet. And I can go on with my day knowing that we're going to be safe. And I'm like, are you in a war zone? Are you in an active war zone that you're saying all of this? Or are you, like, is somebody threatening you? Because you clearly have enough time to watch this video on Instagram, follow this page on Instagram, and comment. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, you can't actually believe this. Like, these are some random guys on Instagram. And for some reason, they're always selling a course. I don't know what kind of course you can sell. Maybe a course on spirituality, maybe some lessons. You know, maybe like an online coaching session. They always have an online coaching session. I don't know why, but they love that stuff. But I'm just thinking to myself, how are you talking to these other dimensional beings? These extra dimensional beings? I don't think, it doesn't make any sense. There was this one lady, I think she had multiple videos, and fair enough, you've got to make your money how you make your money. But she was, she'd be like, all right, everybody, I am going to channel for you now. And quite literally, this is what she'd do. Welcome. I am Elphaba from the 6th dimension communicating to you. And I'm like, why are you using an Instagram influencer as a medium from the 6th dimension to get across your message? I'm pretty sure there's better ways to do it. Maybe the news, maybe, I don't know, like, I'm sure you're in the 6th dimension. You can just telepathically talk to all of us. Like, you must have some sort of, like, next level abilities that are unfathomable to all of us 3rd dimensional mere mortals. And also, they always seem to skip the 4th dimension. Like we're in the 3rd dimension. We can barely conceive. We can't actually even conceive the 4th dimension. And these lot on Instagram, these Instagram mediums, are talking to the 5th, 6th, 7th, and sometimes even the 8th dimension. Wow, amazing. Not even modern science can do that. Not even, like, we can't even time travel, and you're out here talking to extra dimensional beings. That's amazing. That's brilliant. Like, and you know what they've told you to do? They've told you to become a medium on Instagram and sell courses on the side, including your coaching sessions. And I'm just sat here thinking, surely there was a better way to, like, make money and benefit society. And, like, I know you want to give to society, but surely there's a better way to do it. And, like, of course you want to become an influencer because you're on Instagram doing these videos. Like, and there's no knocking that. That's amazing. But why this niche? I'm just so curious. And also, I'd like to ask, do you believe it? If you believe it, fair enough. All power to you. If it's brought you peace, if it's brought you love, happiness, and all that good stuff, amazing. But I actually do have to know, do you believe this? Because this is absolutely mental. There was this one guy, actually, he's a little bit more different. He's trying to convince everybody that he's an alien. Like, he's an actual alien. He's like, this bald guy, or like, I think he shaves his head probably. And he's on Instagram saying, he's an not extra dimensional being. He's like an alien. He's off this world and he's come here to be around these mere mortals and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you're a space traveling alien who's landed on Earth, and the best you can do is become an influencer on Instagram and sell courses. I'm sorry, if you're an alien and this is the best you can do, just go back to your planet, go back to a different planet, maybe become a farmer or something of the sorts. like something that benefits society, not trying to convince the another planet that you actually are an alien. Like, give us some proof instead of these Instagram videos where you're trying to influence and convince people. And it disheartens me just a bit just to say that he has convinced people. Again, I'm in those comments just because I have to know, is anybody actually taking this? Like, is anybody taking the bait? And I'm sorry to say that people are taking the bait. And again, I'm not sure what taking the bait does for you. Does it, does it confirm your theories about aliens and there being actual, like, other intelligent life in the universe? Like, amazing, great. What are you going to do with that information? It's not helping you pay the bills. It's not helping you pay the bills. And I'm just sat here like, what am I watching? What am I reading? Like, if there was ever a dark place, like of the internet, like regarding social media, I think I might have just stumbled across it. I recommend go and watch it for yourself, because just because it's a good laugh. It's a good laugh, and also it's crazy the amount of lore these people create. Like, it's poorly written fantasy and sci-fi is what I like to call it. It's poorly written sci-fi, and I'm just like, surely you could have done better. Surely you could have converted this into a book or into a religion or something. Not an Instagram course where you're telling people not to worry about World War III. Because what happens if World War III does kick off? Like, what happens if it kicks off next year? Like, what did the unicorn people in the sixth dimension just change their minds? They might have done. You never know. And they're gonna be like, hey guys, we were bad. We were like, using fossil fuels, creating greenhouse gases, and the unicorn people were like, screw it, we're gonna give them World War III. Like, that's absolutely insane. So yeah, that's what I've been finding on social media lately. I feel like every single week or every 2 weeks, I just come up with something bizarre that I've just found on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, on the internet. The internet is a bizarre place, and I just seem to be, I feel like if you scroll enough, and if you're on the internet for longer than 3 hours just scrolling, you'll eventually hit a point where it will just show you the biggest amount of nonsense that you've ever seen in your life. But yeah, it's a very good way to pass the time though, so I do I do recommend it. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of my bread and butter. It's a guilty pleasure, that one. On another note, and it's on a completely separate sidetrack, yesterday I went to the Design Museum because I'm in London. I'd like to, there's plenty of museums. Why not go to the museum? It's nice, it's all that good stuff. But currently they have the Wes Anderson exhibit. And I'm not sure about all of you. I love Wes Anderson. I love Grand Budapest Hotel. Fantastic Mr. Fox is, again, my bread and butter. I think it's one of the best films ever made. I think it's a masterclass in stop motion. It's a masterclass in voice acting. It's a masterclass in just filmmaking in general. I think it took them 2 years to, complete the project as a whole, and it shows the attention to detail, the love, the craft. It was just absolutely amazing. I'm just a little like me fangirling over Fantastic Mr. Fox. But if you haven't watched it, watch it. If you haven't watched it in a while, rewatch it immediately. Watch it tonight. Watch it after this video, because why not? Because it's Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's brilliant. But yeah, it's the Wes Anderson exhibit, and it just showed all of his, his scripts, the little revisions he did, the costumes, the outfits, the inspiration for, from where all these ideas came from, why he made certain films, why he created certain scripts, who he works with, and who he has like a continuing relationship with. It was just absolutely amazing just to walk through. And also they had, in every single film exhibit, they had a little screen playing excerpts from said film, and you could take a listen to it. And what the cool thing was, while you're watching the piece of the film, right next to you is quite literally the outfits, the props from the film, from the actual film. It's a surreal experience, especially I think it was in the Grand Budapest Hotel. Willem Dafoe's Prada, I think it was like trench coat that they specially made for him. I got to see that in person, and I was just like, that's insane. Like, I've been seeing that on Instagram, YouTube, wherever. Like, I've been seeing it online, and I've seen it in the film so many times. And to have that, like, standing in front of me was just absolutely insane. Also, I'm surprised he didn't just keep that for himself. If I was Willem Dafoe, I would have taken that. It was made by Prada specifically for him, specifically for the film. And I was just like, that's absolutely insane. Like, and the amount of fashion houses that have worked with Wes Anderson, and his style and his like his aesthetic, and how they perfectly encapsulated that. Like, it was just absolutely amazing. Like, just to hear his story from like the beginning to the end, and seeing all of his wonderful creations, and like the amount of detail and love he puts into his films. You can tell he loves it. And something about that, like, you can tell, like, when somebody creates something or makes something, like, you can tell when they've loved it, when they've poured their heart and soul into it, whether it be good, whether it be bad, whether you think it's not that impressive. You can tell when somebody's put so much attention and detail in it, and that's something that you just can't deny. And I absolutely love it. And like, the props they made, like from the wax figurines to the puppets in Fantastic Mr. Fox, the exhibit, I just fell in love with it. And just reading the excerpts about how they made them, why they made them, what troubles they ran into, how they came across certain issues, and how they solved them in really creative ways. Like, it's absolutely amazing. I would 100% recommend it. Like, tickets were selling out really quickly. Like, I think I barely got my ticket. I think we ordered it 2 days before. It's only like £22 a piece. I know that seems like a lot, especially for like, let's say a 2.5 hour exhibit. Depends on like how long you take walking through, looking at things, taking pictures, reading, all that good stuff. I would recommend taking your time with it, just because there's so much knowledge and creativity like that stems from it. And if it can inspire any of your work, or inspire you in what you're doing, then it's definitely worth the time. It's definitely inspired me to focus on writing a script, on focusing on how I'm positioning things, focusing on what do I want it to look like, just visually, aesthetically, but also in terms of transitioning, what kind of themes I want. Like, it really makes you think, and it's really inspiring, and I would 100% recommend it. Again, £22, it does seem a bit pricey, and I won't lie, it is pricey, but then you have to ask yourself, when are you going to come across Wes Anderson's work, his props, his scripts that is annotated, revised? Well, like, when are you going to come across that again? So honestly, it's definitely worth the buy. It's definitely worth the visit if you're ever up in London. The Design Museum, I believe, is in Chelsea/Kensington. So yeah, it's central London, nice and easy. You can get there on the tube really easy, and it's right next to Holland Park as well. So if you want a nice stroll through Holland Park, go and visit some of the nice cafes there, I'd recommend that as well. Because again, we went to this one cafe just before we went into the exhibit, and when I tell you, I had it was like I had a lot of pistachio stuff, and it was just amazing. Overpriced because it's London, because it's Chelsea, but was it worth it? Yeah, I'd like to think so. Will I be eating there every single week? No, I will not. Will I be visiting museums for £22 every single week at all these exhibits? I wish, but no, I will not. But if you're a museum buff, if you're into Wes Anderson, if you're into films, or if you're into aesthetics, if you're into fashion, any of that business, head over to the Wes Anderson exhibit at the Design Museum, because yeah, it's worth it completely. But yeah, that's a little side tangent to end off the episode. Again, I will be uploading weekly. Apologies for being away. Also, I know on the Instagram and TikTok, I've made those. Those are linked on the YouTube. You can find them. You can find them in the description as well. I haven't made any shorts, any videos, anything to post on there, but I will be working on that once I learn how to do that. But yes, please do expect little bit of content on those platforms as well. Thank you for visiting. I do apologize again for the long hiatus. And yeah, this has been a fantastic time with me, Taher Houssain.